Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Allison, and this is my first official video on this channel. I did not expect to be making this video, but here we are. I felt that God was telling me to do this, so I'm going to be obedient. You never know what could happen. So I'm just praying that this reaches the people that it needs to. I also have a script here that I wrote. So if you wonder why I'm looking to the side a lot, it's because I'm reading that. I wanted to write this in advance so I'm not going all over the place with this. So today I'm going to be sharing part of my testimony and how God healed me from my ED. And I say part because I'm not going to share everything. Some things are a little too personal, so I'm only sharing the things that God has released me to say. I'm also referring to it as an ED because, due to YouTube guidelines, I don't think I'm allowed to say the actual word. So if you don't know what an ED is, go look it up because you're probably going to be very confused. And just a disclaimer, I'm going to be addressing some serious things, so just be warned that this could trigger some people. Also, if you're watching this video because you're looking for some kind of easy step-by-step guide to recover from your ED, that does not exist. If that's what you're looking for, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to find it. You're not. I know, I've tried. I have tried everything. And the only thing that got me to where I am now is because of God. And so if that doesn't sound desirable to you, but you've tried everything and nothing's working, I strongly urge you to reconsider. He'll change your life for the better. He changed mine. I'll tell you, I'm not the same person I was 5, 6 months ago. So with that being said, I'm gonna get into this. So when I was 11, that was when I started to develop my ED due to abuse and other things that I was exposed to as a child, which I'm not going to get into that part of it, but knowing what caused it is very important. And therapy has definitely helped me a lot. But one small portion that I'll get into is that media also impacted me heavily as a child. I was born in 2001. So back then, starving yourself was kind of the trend. Beauty is pain was pretty much the motto back in the day, which, when you're so young and impressionable and you're seeing all these thin, beautiful women on TV and magazine covers, you're going to think that's the standard of what you should be. And I didn't have someone to tell me differently, so that's just one example. And I'm sure a lot of other young girls were affected by that too. And I was also a chubbier kid, which didn't fit the beauty standards of the time. I was very much aware of myself and what I looked like from a very young age. And I tried to grow up faster than I was supposed to. So there's a hair on my thing. So when I got into middle school, I started to develop this very unhealthy habit of going on YouTube and trying to educate myself on how to be skinny. And the majority of what I was watching were bright side videos. If you don't know what that is, it's a YouTube channel that would post tips and tricks on how to do whatever. I'll link the channel in the description so you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying that their channel is bad to watch. I'm sure it's fine if you're older than 11 and you're just trying to get some extra tips on something. But I was looking for much more than that. I was looking for security. I really just needed therapy. But that didn't happen until way later in life. But I was obsessed with trying to learn how to lose weight. Then I started dieting when I was 11. I just want to emphasize how unhealthy that was. Oh my gosh, I have like a fuzz on my face. Get out of here. Anyway, for years I was trying so many different diets. I have probably tried at this point almost any diet you can think of. And in total, I think I have dieted 16 times, and I'm 23. And to be honest, most of them worked for a period of time. But I'm sorry, I keep looking at myself. I should be looking in the camera. Where was I? Uh, yeah, most of them worked for a period of time, but then I would gain the weight right back because none of those diets were sustainable for me, and I was doing them for all the wrong reasons. And one of those reasons was that I was extremely insecure. This is what led to me having what's called a binge ED or a BED. If you don't know what that is, I strongly encourage you to go look up the definition before finishing this video, or go look it up right now, because it's going to provide a lot of context. And I'm not going to read it here just because I don't want this video to get taken down or flagged for any reason, but Wikipedia actually has a good definition of it. So, first off, I loved shopping for clothes, but I hardly ever liked anything on me that I tried. So I would end up not really buying anything, and then I would cry about how much I hated my body. And if only I were a certain size, or if I didn't have this insecurity, then I could have bought those clothes. So I pretty much tried to avoid clothes shopping if I could. I would also refuse to buy new clothes because I would constantly tell myself, I'm going to lose the weight soon, so there's no point in me buying clothes now that won't fit me in a few months. So then I would end up wearing clothes I didn't even like or didn't flatter my body because I just wanted to cover it up. I would wear a lot of leggings and frumpy shirts that just did not look good. I also didn't want to spend the money if I am so sorry. I keep getting something on my face. I didn't want to spend the money if I was going to have to buy new stuff in a few months. I would also keep clothes in my closet for so long that were way too small on me because I thought I was going to lose weight and be able to fit into my old clothes again. But there comes a point in time when if you're not seeing results, then it's time to part ways with that stuff. Because if you're not making healthy changes to your lifestyle and staying consistent with that, then odds are you're never going to lose the weight and you're never going to fit into those clothes again. And part of those healthy changes is a change in mindset. And I'll tell you, when I finally changed my mindset that I don't need to be a certain size to be beautiful, and I accepted my body for what it was, then that was when I actually started losing weight because I stopped trying so hard. And I personally was only able to do that because of God. And I'll be honest, there were times when I would look at myself and think, that isn't even me, or I don't feel like myself. I had changed in a bad way to the point where I didn't even know who I was or what my purpose was. To be honest, I still struggle with that sometimes. That's okay. Another thing that I did was I didn't want to stand out. I wanted to blend in with the crowd because that's what insecurity does. You don't want people looking at you or talking to you. You just want to be left alone. Either that or you want to mask what you really think about yourself by doing the opposite and dressing to impress every time you leave the house. So that's part of why I dressed the way that I did. Sometimes I would dress nicely, but that was more when I was at school. And still, a lot of the time, I literally just wore the same outfit every day. When I was in middle school, I had this t shirt that I would wear at least one day a week. But then I would also never leave the house without makeup on because if I didn't, I wouldn't feel pretty. And my insecurities would also keep me from going to school. I had to go to the guidance counselor a lot because they were so concerned about the amount of school I was missing. It was it was really bad. And to be honest, it makes me sad because I missed out on so many opportunities to have fun and be with my friends just because I had literally one pimple or my hair didn't look perfection that day. It was honestly ridiculous how much I was thinking about my appearance. It's prideful, to be honest, when you spend that much time thinking about yourself and even if it comes from a place of insecurity, it's still pride. And that's wicked. So, one thing that I experienced was that I was too insecure to eat in front of anyone. If I was around a group of people, most of the time I would not eat. I would say, "Oh, I ate before I came here," or "Oh, I'm not hungry right now." And then I would get home and stuff my face. There were times when I was in school when I would not eat, or I would eat very little. I honestly would not be surprised if other people realized that I had an ED and just never said anything. I didn't know I had one until I was maybe 16, 17. A lot of times I felt like I needed to hide what I was eating or how much I was eating from fear of people judging me. There were a lot of nights where, oh my gosh, this is so much. After everyone had gone to sleep, I would sneak downstairs and grab whatever comfort food I could get my hands on and go up to my room and stuff my face. And sometimes we didn't even have anything that I actually wanted to eat, but I felt like I needed something, so I would just eat anything that was good enough. So in 2023, I discovered that you could have groceries delivered to your house from Walmart. So I secretly created an account and ordered a bunch of junk food for myself, and I mapped out a time when I could have them delivered when my family wouldn't be around. Then I hid the food in my room, and several times a day I would lock my door and sit there and binge food while I binged Netflix or whatever it was I was watching at the time. There was a lot of binging going on in my life. There was one time I literally bought a whole pie that was bigger than my head, and I ate that in probably a week or two, along with all the other stuff that I bought. I only did this Walmart ordering thing maybe 2 times, but both were in the same month. So within the span of 4 to 5 weeks, I ended up gaining 20 pounds. My addiction had never been so bad. And then sometime after that, I had gained another 20 pounds from yo-yo dieting. So, in the span of about a year and a half, I went from 145 to close to 190 pounds. And I'm only 5'2" for reference. This is so vulnerable. During this time, I had also started a new job that had me very isolated. So, on top of all that was going on in my life, I was more lonely than ever, and that was really hard. 2023 to 2024 was when my health just started to decline rapidly. I'll just say I went through something very traumatic towards the end of 2021, and I didn't start noticing my health getting bad until 2023. I was stressed all the time. I started gaining weight rapidly, as I said. My hair started falling out and breaking. My skin was terrible, and I developed sleep issues, which I hardly ever had before. And I say all of this to say God healed me from all of that. I'm still not completely healed because it has to be a process, and God knows how fast or how slow the healing process needs to be. It's different for everyone, but yes, for the most part, I have been healed. I was reminded of a dream I had in March of 2024. I'm not going to share the dream, but I will just give you the meaning behind it. God gave me this dream to show me that I was being surrounded by all these unhealthy thoughts. And it was pretty much all that I thought about. And with that, I was starting to get into some very dangerous territory, but I didn't know it was dangerous because the enemy will try to make things seem good and desirable, but it's actually just going to destroy you, which is pretty much the message of the dream. And God gave me the example of the story Hansel and Gretel. And if you don't know that story, go look it up because I don't want this video to be longer than it already is. But the basic points are Hansel and Gretel are lost and hungry in the woods. They find a gingerbread house in the woods that tempts them. So they give in and they eat some. Then they find an old woman that lives in the house, but she's actually a witch who wants to fatten them up and eat them. Of course, they don't know this at first, so they trust her. And then when they find out, they're like, what have we gotten ourselves into? And how can we possibly get out of this? But then they end up killing her at the end and go home with treasure. So the point of me saying this is to give you an understanding of how it can feel to be so deep with an ED. And a lot of people don't understand what it feels like to have one. You are so distracted by what's in front of you, and it seems so good, but then you realize you're stuck in a trap and it looks like there's no way out. And even sometimes people will tell you there's no way out. But by the grace of God, there is a way. And then when you finally get out of that trap, you feel so free. You feel like you can function as a normal person. And that's truly a gift. I was trying to control the situation so much, it ended up backfiring on me. I would constantly be thinking about food and what I was going to have for my next meal and thinking about how many calories I was eating. I was focusing on that rather than fueling my body with actual whole healthy food. So a lot of what I would eat, oh my gosh, to help with my intense sugar cravings was food advertised to help with weight loss. In better terms, junk. I'm not going to get into the healthy eating part of it too much, but all the processed food I was eating was one of the top contributors to my problems. Like, you're eating this stuff to help you stop the cravings and to lose weight, but it's actually doing the opposite because these foods are designed to be addictive. So if you think you're the problem, if you think you have something wrong with you, like I did, I'm here to tell you it's not you. These companies literally prey on people like us so that they can make money because they know if they can make the food addictive and they advertise it to help you lose weight, they know you're going to keep coming back. They don't care about helping you. All they want is your money. So stop giving it to them. It angers me so much, honestly, to think about this. Please just eat whole food that have very few ingredients in them. Stay away from the stuff with a grocery list of ingredients, or if if there are things in it that you can't even pronounce, then you know it's probably bad. But you do have to educate yourself on what is actually good for you when we have all this deception in the food industry today. Thankfully, they are starting to ban certain ingredients, which is so long overdue, in my opinion. So, in conclusion, all this that I went through had to do with people's perception of me, or what I thought their perception was. I felt like I needed to be perfect in all areas of my life that I was able to control. I saw myself as having so many flaws that were inevitable for people to see. So I felt like I needed to counteract all those flaws with perfection. And I just want to say that people have so many flaws themselves that they are probably not even going to notice or care about what you are insecure about. And if they do notice, a lot of them are probably relating to you. If someone finds you disgusting because of something you can't control, then they are probably just as insecure as you are, or they have some kind of, my voice is going out, or, wow, Jesus help me, Jesus, give me my voice, Father. Um, um, as I was saying, they are probably just as insecure as you are, or they have some kind of twisted view of reality. And if that's the case, you probably don't want to associate with them anyway. And all these insecurities that I had, weren't even that bad, but because I focused on them so much and tried hiding them instead of getting the help that I needed, I ended up making them a lot worse. And now I have to suffer the consequences of that. So please, please seek help from somebody that you trust and pray. I know I say this, but I still struggle with that mindset. And I'm not perfect, I'm just trying to set the best example that I can and give God the glory through my testimony. It's not about me, it's about Him. I would rather not be this vulnerable with random strangers on the internet, but so be it. If my story can help even one person, that is so powerful, and I'm honored to be used by God in that way. So, the way I overcame my ED was in February of 2025. I surrendered my whole self to God. I gave up my fleshly desires, things that I would go to. What? What did I say? I gave up my fleshly desires, the things I would go to fill that void. And suddenly I felt like it was like I was cured almost overnight. It's as simple as that. I put Him as my first priority, and He answered my prayers that I prayed for years. He can do the same thing for you. And like I said before, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I do slip back into some old habits or thoughts, and then symptoms of my ED will start to creep back up on me. And that is when I have to repent. But God gives forgiveness if you get your heart right. Lastly, before I end this video, I just want to re-emphasize that it's not your fault. If you have an ED or you've had one in the past, it's not your fault. You have probably been through a lot, and the ED is an emotional response to that. And the enemy will use whatever he can to get a foothold on you, to bring you down. And that is because you are a threat to him. And he wants to distract you from your purpose and what you need to do to become a servant of God. Satan wants to make your life miserable. He wants to destroy you. God says He has plans to prosper us and give us a hope and a future. He wants to heal you. And if you serve Him, He'll serve you back because He loves you. And all we have to do is have a relationship with Him. He's the best. So, with all of that being said, I want to thank everyone for watching this video. If you stayed to the end, God bless you. Seriously, I will be praying over each and every one of you. So please don't forget to like this video because I worked so hard on it. I have literally been working on this for like 2 months. So please like, comment, share this video with someone you know who has been struggling with anything that I mentioned in this video. If you need prayer, please do not hesitate to let me know in the comments, and we can all pray for each other. And don't forget to subscribe and join the family to be part of this new ministry. I can't wait to see how God uses this channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless. Bye.